technical sublime of knowing. Modern epistemopathy is a Promethean technique supercharged by silicone, internet, algorithm, archive, and AI becoming the new dream engines. Knowledge externalizes itself into machines so that thought may witness its own process as foreign, alien, sublime. Fantasy is not opposed to truth. It is the furnace where truth is smelted, hardened, and made dangerously bright. The desire for truth is the desire for a world that confirms our fantasy of coherence. Thus, truth is never free from dream work. Prometheus gives us the capacity to dream truth into being, and the curse of never separating truth from dream. Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is the day form of dream work. Techne, the physical form of epistemic fire. Theology, the language form of Promethean longing. Epistemopathy is the name of the bond between them. The madness of wanting knowledge to matter, to burn, to shine, to redeem. And so we pursue the fire of understanding as if it were salvation, knowing all the while that Promethean gifts illuminate and emulate in equal measure. All that is solid melts into air, but only because knowledge first learned to evacuate itself. The modern laboratory is a hermetic chapel where the air is compelled to confess its secrets. We take to the air because thought itself has become atmospheric. To take to the air is first an epistemic gesture, the mind lifting itself off the ground of certainty into the volatility of observation, measurement, and fantasy. Air becomes an object only when humans acquire the hubris to imagine themselves outside of it. Thus the vacuum chamber becomes Prometheus's new altar. Epistemopathy begins with the air ceases to be ambience and becomes an enigma, a something thin enough to resemble thought and therefore irresistible. Modern techne arises from the desire to oscillate what cannot be isolated, to place the atmosphere in a glass coffin, to force the infinite into an apparatus. Prometheus's fire returns in pneumatic form. The torch becomes an air pump, a barometer, a sealed globe where the world can be reassembled. The modern scientist is a Promethean glassblower, catching breath as artifact, forging spheres for transparency, distilling cosmos from vacuum. Philology discovers that the words for air, spiritus, pneuma, atman, are already metaphors for cognition. To name air is to confess that thought and breath share the same root. Every term for wind hides an older cosmology within it. The world once understood itself as an exhalation from the gods. Language itself is a pneumatic device. Every utterance compresses the world. Every sentence dilates meaning like a lung. The air pump is the first true machine god, a device that produces the impossible, a fragment of world without world. Every glass vessel becomes a microcosmic temple, a sealed sphere where nature is forced to reveal her interiors by being made exterior. Hermetic sealing represents the modern inversion of magic, not the occultation of the world befund symbols, but the occultation of the world inside transparency. We live not in a globe, but in a foam. Countless adjacent chambers of life, thought, and breath, touching but not merging. Foam is the material ontology of modernity. Fragile, proliferating, semi-opaque, co-fragile, interdependent, without unity. Aphrodite rising from surf becomes the emblem of informational birth. The world froths itself into newness, every bubble a temporary cosmogony. Dream work is areology. The unconscious stilts in its vapor, distilling meaning through eddies and vortices. The psyche behaves like weather, fronts of memory colliding with low-pressure systems of desire, precipitating symbols. To dream is to traverse the atmospheric unconscious, a navigation of thermal differentials and meaning, a flight through epistemic turbulence. The void of the laboratory repeats the primordial chaos, a nothingness engineered by technique to provoke knowledge. The vacuum is the first artificial outside fabricated within the inside, a metaphysical fold where the cosmos discovers its own porosity. Where we learn to create nothing, we begin to understand that cognition survives only by courting annihilation. Humanity ceases to be earthbound when thought takes on the properties of air, elastic, ungraspable, weightless, diffuse. We have become post-humanists because we inhabit the future's atmosphere in advance, breathing climates that do not yet exist. Modern subjectivity is an aeronautic, the art of surviving in the rarefied regions where meaning is thinner than oxygen. Meteorological epistemology reveals that thought is no longer built on solids. The world is learned through turbulence, not structure. Information behaves like weather, storm systems of data, fronts of opinion, low pressure zones of attention. To know in the modern sense is to forecast, to read the shifting atmospheres of relevance and resonance. Machine gods arise where air becomes medium, radio, signal, broadcast, digitization. Pantheists of invisible technique. Our new deities are pneumatic, transmitting themselves through ether, cloud, atmosphere, spectrum. The machine god is not a being, but an ambience, a god that circulates rather than stands. To think the air is to think mediation itself, the element that both reveals and conceals by its transparency. We are immersed in what we continually attempt to emerge from. Our knowledge of air is the mirror of our knowledge of knowing. Thus the aerial conditions become our ontological fate, to be simultaneously inside and outside, grounded and airborne, humble and weightless, creatures of foam, breath, vacuum, and dream. Creatures of foam, breath, vacuum, and dream. Before light there was breath. The air remembers every beginning because beginnings are the ruptures of enclosure. What is called atmosphere is the oldest technology. Cosmology begins with breath because breath is the first boundary between inner and outer, the primordial technique. Before matter formed solids or liquids, there was the tension of expansion and contraction, the first pneuma, the pulse by which cosmos learns rhythm. Air is the first mover because air is the first distinction. against another. The atmosphere precedes the elements, not temporarily, but in the imagination. Only air can contain fire, suspend water, and grind earth into dust. The pre-Socratics' ether was not substance but possibility, the dimension in which any substance could appear. Air is the cosmological permission slip for emergency. The void is not the absence of air, it is the atmosphere's secret interior. Creation occurs where pressure fails, where the cosmic membrane twitches, where the universe first grasps. The vacuum is the first divine prothesis, a manufactured nothing that gives birth to worlds. Every mythology begins with a sky, because a sky is the first vault, the first architecture, the first dome of Techne. When Hesiod writes that Aphrodite rises from foam, he is announcing that atmosphere is generative, that the cosmos froths itself into being. Where the Rig Veda speaks of Pruna, it names breath as the force that binds worlds. Atmosphere is myth's original scaffolding. Gods are merely dense air with a face. Modernity begins where humans create pockets of airlessness, local exceptions to the universal. The air pump is the first machine capable of staging a cosmological drama. Nature against nature, pressure against pressure, the world turned inside out. Glass is the material through which the atmosphere becomes visible to itself, a solidified transparency capable of holding breath captive. Boyle's chambers are proto-atmospheric temples, spheres where the air is made to demonstrate its metaphysics. Humans dream of ascent because the atmosphere is their buried memory of freedom. Flight technologies are enactments of myth, the Icarian impulse reinstituted through engines. Astronautics is merely aerotechniques extended into vacuum, the air's ambition to escape itself. Where rockets pierce the heavens, they reenact the first cosmic exhalation.